if you're somebody that goes to the gym, you train hard, you enjoy your training, but ultimately always end up feeling like you're wasting your time and you never truly see the results you deserve, then this video is for you. So in today's video, I'm going to run through one of the most common problems people come across when they go to the gym, and that is the type of program they are following. I'm going to run through the ideal programs you should or shouldn't be following potentially, and hopefully give you some guidance moving forward. So let's get into the video. So before we do, if you're not already subscribed to me on YouTube, please drop me a subscribe. If you're not following me on Instagram, head over to Instagram, drop me a follow. Or if you need some extra support, I offer a free 7-day fat loss course. The link to download that is in the bio of this video. Right, let's get into it. So the problems, and one of the biggest problems is the type of programs people follow. You might have heard of something called the Bro Split. Now, this is a very common program, particularly for young guys or guys of all ages, to be fair. And that essentially means we train a certain muscle group on a certain day. So we might do chest day, back day, leg day, shoulder day, arm day, for example. That's a pretty typical Bro Split. Now, this comes from the bodybuilding side of the fitness industry. Okay, so that's why young lads generally follow it, and it kind of feeds through, and that's one of the main programs that they will follow. So there's a couple of issues with this. So it comes from bodybuilders, and that's one of the issues. So bodybuilders, whether you want to look like them or not, most people not, one thing that you have to give them credit for is they are excellent at what they do. They're very, very good at training, okay? So they train very hard, and you can see here it says on the screen, you don't train hard enough. So bodybuilders, the reason they can get away with just doing chest on a Monday, for example, once a week, is they train that hard that they need the rest of the week to recover from that before they go again. If they was to try and train their chest on Thursday, for example, they wouldn't be able to, because they'd still be struggling from Monday. And that is because they take their muscles so close to failure, they need that rest. Now, the likelihood is that you watching this don't train that hard because you're not a pro bodybuilder. Okay, so you need practice, you need more volume. Okay, so you need to do more exercise, not less. Okay, bodybuilders, the idea is efficiency. They want to do as minimal as possible, do it as well as possible, and get maximum results. Whereas the person that's training in the gym 3-4 times a week to get, general results, lose a bit of body fat, get a bit stronger, they need more practice. Okay, so you need to do things more frequently. And then finally, at the bottom here, we're missing out on opportunities. Okay, so the example I just used, if you train your chest on a Monday, even if you have the hardest, best session you can think of, the reality is by a Thursday, Friday at the absolute latest, you could train your chest again. But you're not training it again until the Monday, because that's how your working week works. So you're missing out on 3 or 4 days where your chest is good and ready to go again, but you're not training it until the Monday because that's just how your working week works. Okay, so we're missing out on opportunities by just doing one muscle group once per week. So the solution to this is full body training for most people. Now, there are instances where a Bro Split might be suitable for certain people, like I say, high level athletes, bodybuilders, it might work. But for the most part, full body workouts are going to suit you far better. Okay, so how does this look? Essentially, we train each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week. So instead of just training chest on a Monday, we might do a chest exercise or 2 chest exercises in each workout 3 times a week. So every couple of days, we're training each muscle group. Okay, so this is more volume, more practice. As I said earlier, the goal is to become efficient in the gym, to do as little reps as possible and to do as minimal work as possible for maximum results. That's the goal. But to get to this, we need practice. We need to become really good at what we're doing. That is what bodybuilders are, very good at what they're doing. So by doing this more frequently, you're going to get better at at what you're trying to do. And also it fits in with normal life. So let's say most of you watching this will be normal people, normal lives, not full-time athletes. Let's say you miss a session on a Monday and you're doing a Bro Split, and that's your chest day. That's going to cause all kinds of havoc to your week then, because you've got to somehow try and fit this day back in. Otherwise, chest doesn't get it done at all. Whereas if you've got 2 chest exercises in each of your workouts, if you miss a day because life gets busy, life gets in the way, it doesn't matter so much. You can just go in 2 days later and you can do your next workout, which also trains a bit of chest and a bit of everything, and you can still get the same results. Okay, so it's more user friendly to most people. So German body composition training is the type of training that I like to give to my clients for the most part. And essentially what that means is we're going to superset upper body and lower body exercises. So for those of you that don't know, supersets are when we do one exercise straight into another exercise with no rest between. So we might do, really easy example, you might do a squat straight into a press up and then have your rest. So you might do 10 squats, 10 press ups, have some rest and repeat that over. Okay. The difference with German body composition training is it means that we're supersetting different muscle groups. So what we're not doing here is we're doing a leg exercise into a leg exercise, because the first one's going to make the second one harder. If we do a leg exercise into a back exercise, the first one isn't going to impact the second one in a negative way. Okay, so that is the type of training I like to do. It means we can get lots of exercises into a session. It means we can train the full body quite easily. And I've got a couple of examples of what this might look like in a second. So just before I get to that, a couple of rules for doing supersets in commercial gyms, because this is quite important. I work in commercial gyms. I have done my whole adult life. And we need to have a certain etiquette here. So don't hog two machines that are, to be honest, I would say don't hog two machines full stop, whether they're close together or not. So what I wouldn't do is go and ask you to superset a leg press machine and a lat pull down machine. It's not really fair you holding two machines in the gym. What you can do is you can take free weight exercises to a machine. So let's say you wanted to do leg press, you could take a barbell over to the leg press machine and you could superset leg press and barbell shoulder press. That would be absolutely fine. You're staying in the same place in the gym, working next to the machine that you're using, just going from one to the other. If you're doing a leg press, then walking 50 yards over the gym to the lat pull down machine and then doing that, it's not really very good etiquette and it's going to cause arguments in the gym. Okay, so that is a little bit of advice I'd definitely take on board when it comes to doing supersets in the gym. So a couple of examples of what this can look like, and really it can look like however you want. So when it comes to program, I won't go into how we program in depth in this video, but essentially the goal is always, the first question is, what is the goal? That's the first question. And depending on what the goal is would depend on what exercises I would pick for you. But essentially we're picking exercises that are working on the areas of your body you want to improve the most, essentially. Now, I'd recommend you doing a bit of everything, but you might want to bias it towards a certain area. If you're a lady and you've got a goal of training your glutes or your legs a little bit more, then have a few more leg exercises in there. If you're a guy and you want to work on chest, shoulders, back a little bit more, then have a few more of those in there. But ultimately, we want to be doing a bit of everything, but you can design this how it fits your goals, essentially. So we can see here, we've got a warm-up on the bike or row, doesn't really matter really, 5 minutes warm up, and then we've got superset 1. So we're doing a lat pull down into a goblet squat. So we're going to take a dumbbell or a kettlebell over to the lat pull down. We're going to superset one to the other. We're then going to do leg press and standing dumbbell shoulder press, so lower body, upper body. We're then going to do dumbbell bench press to RDLs or Romanian deadlift, so a chest exercise into hamstring exercise, and then finally seated rows into dumbbell lunges. Okay, and that'd be a great supersetted German body composition training plan. And then if we wanted to go to day 2, so if you wanted to alternate between 2 different days, again a warm up, and then we go incline dumbbell bench press, and then we've got front squats. Okay, so again we could use that as a barbell, or we could use kettlebell if we wanted to. Then we come down to exercise number 2 or superset number 2. We've got pull-ups and Bulgarian split squats. Again, upper body, lower body, chest supported rows and hip thrusts. Again, all you need is a bench there and you can do that. And then side dumbbell lat raises and body weight step ups. So there are a couple of fairly straightforward examples of how you could build a program like this. Okay, so final key message. So don't waste time on splits that aren't made for you. Okay, the bro split and similar kind of plans are very old fashioned now, and they work for a very, very small amount of people. You'd be far better off, unless you're a bodybuilder, going to a full body training plan. Okay, as I've just said there, full body training plan, faster progress, science backed, and it's for real people with normal lives, people that are training maybe 2 to 5 times per week potentially, that life could get in the way, and you could realistically, we could miss a session here and there. Okay, stick to structure, get results. Consistency trumps complexity every time. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And if you are somebody that's been following a bro split and you've been struggling, then give this a go. It's something that I follow myself. I followed bro split, a lot of my younger life when I was in my 20s, and I was training 5-6 times a week then, and you know, I know what I'm doing, so it worked back then. But now I'm in my mid-30s, got a family on the way. I train 3 to 4 times a week now. Full bodies just make far more sense for me. If I miss a session, it doesn't matter, and I can continue to make progress in my training. So give it a go, see how you get on. If you've got any questions, give me a shout, and I will catch you on the next video.